Hey everyone, my name is James Shireman. This video is one part of a series exploring the practicality and potential of VR in urban design and placemaking. This project is overseen by Professor Amir Hajrasuliha of Cal Poly's City and Regional Planning Program. In this video, I will cover the following. Number one, the basic requirements in order to engage in SketchUp VR. Number two, the installation of the VR SketchUp plugin, as well as the app on the Oculus Quest. Number three, uploading and collaborating with others within SketchUp models, specifically viewing them. And lastly, we'll go over my personal opinions regarding the strengths and weaknesses of the program. Because first-person modeling is quite complex and functions better in smaller scale models, that tutorial will be included in an entirely separate video. To begin, we'll first go over the necessary assets in order to utilize SketchUp VR. First of all, you'll require a VR headset. Currently, I'm using this Oculus Quest 2 that the CRP department at Cal Poly generously loaned me. The VR Sketch plugin also happens to work with other headsets such as the HTC Vive, the Valve Index, the Oculus Rift and Rift S, as well as the Oculus Link and other previous versions of the Quest. For the rest of the tutorial, we'll continue assuming that an Oculus headset and a Windows computer are being used. In the case of the Oculus 2, part of the installation and modeling process requires the headset to be tethered to your PC. In order to do this, you'll require an Oculus Link cable to connect your headset's USB Type-C port to one of your computer's USB ports. Alternatively, if your computer has a Type-C port itself, you can simply utilize the charging cable without the outlet adapter that came with the headset. Lastly, you'll want to make sure that you also have a professional SketchUp license ranging from 2017 to 2020. As of this video, the 2021 version of SketchUp is not supported by the VR Sketch plugin. Now to install the plugin and software onto the Oculus itself. Before we begin, should any part of this tutorial prove confusing, I suggest you refer directly to VR Sketch's installation page. So to begin with, we'll first start by installing the SketchUp VR plugin directly onto SketchUp itself. So as you can see, I have SketchUp 2020 open. As before, the 2021 version isn't working as of yet. I'm going to go to Window, and I'm going to search. Search in the extension warehouse, and you should be able to find it by just typing in VR Sketch. There we go. So this is the extension page you should be looking for the version 14. It'll show the compatibility for the various versions of SketchUp. And normally if you haven't had it installed already, you click this button here and it should automatically install pretty seamlessly. It may ask you to log into your account again or anything such as that, but it should be pretty smooth. And afterwards now, when you go into your extensions tab, you should see that you have VR Sketch available. And this is how, while you're in SketchUp, you'll be able to send your model over onto your VR headset or engage in a collaborative editing session or things such as that. Unfortunately, VR Sketch's software isn't officially sanctioned by Oculus. So first you'll need to make sure that your Quest is registered as a developer so you can install third-party applications. This can be easily accomplished by putting on the headset and going into the settings and activating developer permissions there. So now that the Quest recognizes that we have the permission to install custom files onto it, we actually need to get a software that is capable of transferring those files onto the Quest itself. VR Sketch recommends that we use a program called SideQuest, which you can see. Here's their website. And it's very simple to install. And after you do so, you should be able to, you should get an icon on your desktop such as this, and double clicking it opens the program. You should be able to go to the home page, and the home page will show you how to install all sorts of custom files, but we are mainly concerned with is this connection right here. And so by connecting my USB charging cable into my computer and then into the Oculus itself, and there we go. And so now you can see that SideQuest is detecting that we have a device directly attached to it. And what we'll do is we'll download a file from VR Sketch and essentially drop it into SideQuest and tell it to upload it to the Quest file library. So now that we have both SideQuest and the plugin installed, our last step is to download the APK file from VR Sketch itself and just drag and drop it into the SideQuest program. And whenever you drag, the file that you download should look something like this. And when you drag it over, this drop files pop-up should appear here. I've already installed it on my Quest, so I won't completely go through with it. But once you have the file downloaded and SideQuest installed, it's very easy to install it directly onto your Oculus. Okay, and now opening VR Sketch should be as easy as opening up your Quest and going to the applications section and looking at apps in the unknown sources section. As it's not officially sanctioned by Oculus, it'll appear under that category, and simply clicking on it. Okay, so for our first example of the collaborative workspace in VR Sketch, we're going to be taking a large scale model of Slows Downtown that you can see here displayed in SketchUp. Now it is possible to actually edit these models over the cloud in VR Sketch, but with larger models, the processing power of the headset is limited. And so we won't be editing this model extensively. Rather, we'll be focusing on using the navigational tools like the teleport tool and the annotation tools like the notes tool. So I am going to start sharing this model collaboratively. I'm going to go to VR Sketch under extensions. I'm going to click on collaborative editing. I'm going to generate a random code and send it to Christy. Okay. And then I'm going to make sure that I click share on the model, and it's going to connect to that code. Then I'm going to, sorry, Christy, I didn't actually hit send. There you go. Okay. Okay, so now that we have the Oculus headset on, I'm going to go to apps, and I'm going to make sure that I have the unknown sources selected in the top right, because that's where we installed that APK file through SideQuest to get VR Sketch. So don't be selected in all or anything like that. And so then I select VR Sketch, and it should bring me to that initial warehouse scene. And from there, I will put in the 9-digit code that we gave to Christy, and that'll enable the collaborative editing. So I believe 130257457. Yep, that is the code we wanted. So I'm going to hit go, and it should detect that my machine is running SketchUp on that. And any moment, once we connect via the internet to Christy, we should start hearing her voice. And because this is a pretty large scale model with a lot of surfaces and different textures, especially image textures, it is going to take a lot longer of a time to load than some of the smaller, more simple ones. Also, for that reason, this isn't an ideal model to edit over VR, as the processing power of the headset is a lot lower than a computer with a dedicated graphics card or anything such as that. So in this model, we'll mainly be highlighting the navigation and annotation tools available to you in VR Sketch. I think I just heard Christy, so I think the connection's been established.
Hello?
Yep, I can hear you
I
now.
can hear you. Okay.
Okay,
Do you
so
see my hands?
I cannot see you right now in the warehouse of VR Sketch. Let me see
Yeah,
on
I can't
SketchUp.
see you either. I can't hear you.
I can't see you. I can't see you on the SketchUp app on my laptop. I can't see your headset and controllers moving around. Oh, my model's starting to load in.
Okay, I just
There we go.
saw you appear. Okay,
Yep.
great.
Awesome. Okay, so we've successfully loaded the model from my PC onto VR Sketch. And the really amazing thing about this is that Christy doesn't have to have this model downloaded at all. She can just be anywhere in the world and just view it entirely. So to get into the basics of kind of navigating a model, kind of in the grand scale and in first person, you're going to be wanting to use the side triggers, the grip buttons, to grab and move and manipulate the model. It's important to note that any of these manipulations are, I should actually face the camera here, are all client side. And so while Christy can see my controllers moving, the map does not change in orientation for her. So there is an advantage to this being that people can look at separate areas of the model independently, but it also can be kind of difficult to draw attention to one specific element without drawing it or highlighting it. Okay, so to begin, we'll first start with the tools, which are selected using the top two buttons on either Oculus controller, left-handed or right-hand, whichever one you prefer. Oh, sorry, one of the bottom two buttons on your Oculus controller. And you simply select a tool by hovering your controller over and releasing the button. So the first tool that we're going to look at is the teleport tool. All tools are activated via a push of the trigger. And so what we're going to do to start out is I'm going to press the trigger. It's going to bring up that flashing red beam. When it's red, it means I can't teleport to that location. It's not a viable surface. And when it's green, it means I'm actually teleporting into the surface of the model. So I'm going to teleport right in front of the mission there, Christy. I'll see you down there.
Okay, I'll do the same.
There we go. There she is down there. And so we can use our teleport tool to kind of skip forward. Oh, I have the walk setting selected. So an important thing about the teleport tool is you can press the B button. Oh, I went back to the warehouse on accident. Convenient thing I can do is if I ever teleport myself in a bad location or go to a different thing, I can just press B and do the go back, and it'll bring me to like the last place I was. So it's a nice way to kind of hop back and forth from the warehouse to the first person perspective. I'm going to change my teleport setting. I'm going to change it to teleport. Before I was in the walk setting, which meant my screen flashed to simulate walking as I move towards my destination. Whereas when it's set to teleport, it just goes black for a second and then returns. Yeah. And then you can change the distance of your teleport to long, which allows you to cover a lot of distance really fast throughout the model. And one nice thing about these models is they're pretty much all preloaded, and so all the elements load immediately. I prefer to mainly change my view in these models by actually moving around in a circle, but you can also flick left and right on a joystick and it will rotate you in place. And so that's kind of a fast way to turn. And so if you have any trouble locating someone in a collaborative environment, just look for the pillars that are above their avatars, and that can tell you where they are. So Christy right now, she's on the site where Luna Red should be in slow, but for some reason this model is flat. There she is. Okay. And that covers many of the basics of the teleport tool. Now, while the teleport tool is the best way to navigate in first person, a good way to navigate in kind of a much more broad scale is by using the grip buttons to scale in and out. And so you can kind of grip at the sides and push inward, and that'll elevate you above the model. So now you can see that I am at a pretty high view of the building. Christy has somehow managed to stand on top of a lamppost.
Wow, you can go anywhere.
Yeah, we can go anywhere. I could go. I wonder if I can land on the car. I did it. I landed on the car.
I think the lamppost was the trickiest thing I've done.
Yeah. Christy, would you mind showing me what it looks like when someone scales out super far when you're in first person perspective? This is what really shows you that everyone has an independent view.
I see you.
I can't see you.
I'm behind you. Well, hold on. Okay, I'm right behind you.
Right behind me. I still don't see you for some reason. You should be like.
Oh no, wait. Okay, I'm on your right. Street view. Don't move.
Oh wait, I see you. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
So now,
right.
if Christy scales up, yeah. Yep. And then it becomes terrifying. Yep. Okay. And so the second tool that's useful, just viewing a model, is the notes tool, which we can use to draw, graphics or even words or letters or things like that, and they are displayed in real time on the PC that is basically hosting the SketchUp model. So we could say, we could zoom down to the street level here, and we could say, what would it look like if we provided some mixed use, like second story housing? How would that affect the streetscape? And so we could go through buildings and we could identify buildings that are ideal for an expansion. Should you make any lines that you don't want to use, you can press up on the joystick and it'll bring up the eraser tool and just press the trigger and it'll gray things out. And when you let go, they disappear. So I'll go back to my red, draw another building to be elevated. If we zoom out, all of those arrows that I draw kind of thicken in stroke. Oh, that's strange. I did my model freeze. My model is totally frozen for some reason. I'm going to try to rejoin and hopefully that works. I think my model crashed. So you can see that that's why we don't. Okay, so now I need to rejoin the collaborative session. You can see that that's why we wouldn't want to edit in a model that large freeform, because we could run into issues where we crash and things like that. So while that's loading, okay, it's processing all my geometry and things like that. Oh, there we go.
It's good for demonstration.
Yeah. There we go. So you can see here in our VR view, all the arrows that we've drawn. And now if I quickly pop my headset off, and enable my screen view, you can see that SketchUp keeps track of all of those notes, annotations we made, so that later on someone could refer to them later and use them to extrude the buildings or push them down to lower levels and simulate the different height changes. Yeah. Overall, VRSketch is a very impressive plugin that enables long distance collaboration and viewing of SketchUp models. While it is possible to edit models over the internet and have those changes reflected in real time onto SketchUp, the graphic limitations of the Oculus become apparent when models are too large or more complex. Still, the program's usefulness as a true scale presentation platform is unparalleled. In the next tutorial, I'll go more in depth on how to model using the headset and the pros and cons associated with it. Until then, thank you for watching.